Hi traders, hope you're doing well. Welcome to my video on the MACD Divergence EA, which I've developed for the MT4 and MT5 trading platforms. Please help yourself to a copy using the link in the description below. So in this video, I'm just going to run through the EA, how it works, and the different ways in which you can implement it within your own trading strategy. Here we have the MetaTrader 4 MT4 platform. Okay, you can see the strategy tester window here where I've got the MACD Divergence EA loaded. I've attached on the chart here the MACD indicator just to give you a quick rundown of how the EA works. So it trades based on divergence. I'm not going to get into too much detail regarding divergence. I do have other videos and articles that explain it in more detail, but just to show you what we look for with divergence is, so if we have a downwards market like this, but the indicator is making higher lows, so you can see lower highs, but the indicator is suggesting the opposite direction, so the higher lows. Then we're going to look for a reversal point. Okay, so that's how the EA will trade. You can set it to find these sort of divergence opportunities. You can set the number of bars to look back. So 10 bars, 20 bars, 50 bars to spot this divergence. Okay, you can use it on any chart time frame, any trading instruments, so Forex, stocks, commodities, cryptos, indices, etc. As I said, it's available for the MT4 and MT5 platform and completely free to use. I personally would use it in a semi-automated trading manner. So, for example, if we were in this scenario here, we could have seen there was a downtrend and waited for this upwards divergence on the MACD. And then once we have that, we can time our entry. You can get the EA to place the trade automatically for you when it spots the divergence, but you can also time your entries. So you can see this trend line break here around this point. And if we just mark that level of resistance here, you can see resistance. In fact, it was support back here slightly as well. They've got a strong level of support, come resistance here, and once we have a breakout up around here, we may have entered on the breakout there, which also coincides nicely with the crossover of the MACD from the zero line as well. Okay, and then in that instance, that would have been a good trade. We could have placed our stop loss below this swing low here, so around 20 to 30 pips, which is relatively good for the 1 hour chart time frame. Regarding time frames, I personally prefer the 1 hour charts and above. I just find signals tend to be more reliable because there's more price data included within them. You can, of course, use any trading time frame you prefer, whether you're scalping, day trading, swing trading. Just for me, the high chart time frames I find more reliable. It also means less time chart watching, but you don't necessarily have to chart watch when you're using the EA such as this one, which can spot setups such as this one for you. Just perhaps use your own initiative when it comes to timing the entry. On the breakout of resistance in this case, okay, we also had the higher lows here. We've got the bullish candlestick patterns. You've got a wedge breakout. You've also got a W pattern breakout. I do have videos on all these different strategies, but for me, price action trading, so support, resistance, trend lines, and being aware of candlestick patterns can help you with entry, along with the divergence of the MACD there. So the EA, let's just see. We're going to now look at the strategy tester window. I'm just going to run through the strategy tester first of all. So strategy tester in MT4 and MT5 allows you to back test a particular expert advisor, in this instance the MACD Divergence EA, over a particular symbol and historical data. Okay, so you can choose your symbol here. We've got the euro dollar selected. We're going to choose the past year. Okay. For the testing model, open prices only is a lot quicker. It's not as accurate, but the EA does use open prices when it comes to entry and exit. However, you will want to switch to every tick when you're fine-tuning settings, simply because every tick includes intra-bar prices, which is important when it comes to the stop loss and take profit, trade and stop break even prices as well. It's a lot slower, but what we can do is use open prices only to get some rough settings and then switch to every tick to fine-tune them. Okay, regardless, even with every tick testing, the strategy tester is limited to 90% modeling quality by default. You can get 99% modeling quality in MT4 by using a third-party software. This will allow you to backtest with tick data, real variable spreads, to have some kind of slippage on there to include commissions. Okay, MT5 by default does have these features and allows you to test with tick data as well. But regardless whether you're using MT4 with a third-party software for tick testing or MT5, you're still testing over historical data. Okay, so it's obviously just looking at what happened in the past and will be no guarantee of what will happen moving forward. However, it can give you a rough idea of what to expect. So here you can choose the time frame, just choose the 1 hour charts, and you can choose the spread here. We've got the current spread selected. Just be wary if you are testing on the weekends. Spreads can be higher than usual, so in this case you might just want to put this something more reasonable in the spread field. We go to the expert properties here. So now I'm just going to run through the various settings in the EA and how you can customize them according to your own needs. So you've got the expert name there, you can change. This is what will be shown on your account statement. Pop-up alerts. So if you have pop-up alerts set to true, you'll get a pop-up alert, surprise, surprise, telling you that there's been a signal, depending on the chart that you're running the EA on. So if we're running on the Euro-Dollar 1 hour chart, we may get a buy divergence signal Euro-Dollar 1 hour chart. And this is handy because we can simultaneously track as many charts as we like, with different time frames, different currency pairs for alerts without needing to manually scour through them all. Okay, if you're away from your computer, we've got email alerts and SMS alert options as well. So this will send the signal via email or SMS, which is handy if you're out and about, perhaps you're lazing around on the sofa and you just want to know when there's a potential signal, and you can then fire up your platform and check if you'd like to take a position or not. Use trading. If you set use trading to true, the EA can actually place the trade on your behalf. Okay, this is handy. Perhaps you can have both set to true. So you can have like email alert set to true and use trading set to true. So if a trade is placed, you'll receive an email. And then you can just check, make sure the trade's okay, perhaps adjust the stop loss accordingly. For example, you can put a stop loss and take profit here on the EA. But let's just say you had a 50 pip hard stop loss, okay? In this instance, and you took a divergence trade here, the stop loss, you can see, I mean, a 50 pip stop loss would be down here, which in my opinion is too wide. You could have halved it and had it a lot closer. So I think it's okay to use like a hard stop loss and a hard take profit if you're not going to be around. However, as soon as you can get a chance to manually adjust it, that's personally what I would do. And when it comes to take profit as well, I'm not a fan of fixed take profits. Let's just say you had a 50 pip or 100 pip even take profit. Okay, so where's that? Okay, not bad. You would have been taken out around here somewhere, which is still decent, but you can see there's still more left in this move at the moment. So I would argue sometimes not even to use a take profit, instead just trail the stop loss on a recent swing low or swing high. So in this instance, as price broke out and continued upwards, we could have moved the stop loss to break even initially, then below the low here, below the low here, below the low here. We can even be right now with the stop loss below the low here. Just waiting to see how this plays out. We've just had a little breakout of this resistance here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens if price retests this level. Okay, so going back to the settings, days filters. Well, we've got trade direction as well, so you can set the EA to give you signals long, short, and long. Obviously in the testing tab, if you're aware, you can do long and short only as well, but I've put it here because it's handy for optimization purposes as well. Days filter, self-explanatory, days of the week. Hours filter, you can choose the hours that you'd like to look for signals. This is handy if perhaps you want to trade a particular session, the New York session, London session, Sydney, Tokyo, perhaps the NY and London overlap. You can just adjust the hours accordingly. Magic numbers, this is the order ID that's sent along with your trades, set to 1 for buy and 2 for sell by default. This is handy if you are running multiple EAs on the same account and you don't want to clash with each other. Under the broker settings here, we've got maximum spread and maximum slippage. These values are in pips. The EA will not send signals if the spread or slippage is greater than these values, which helps avoid unfavorable market conditions. Money management section, open orders limit is the maximum number of open buy and or sell trades at any time. lots. So this is the position size that you want to trade. Keeping in mind that lots is only used if you have user is set to false. If you have user is set to true, what the EA will do is calculate the lot size depending on what you set here in the risk percent field. Stop loss and take profit, we've discussed, self-explanatory again. Close on opposite signal, if you have this set to true, the EA will close a buy trade when there's a sell signal and vice versa. Break even and trailing stop. So if you set use break even to true, when price reaches this distance in pips, stop loss is moved to break even. If you have trailing stop set to true, the EA will trail the current price by this trailing gap distance every time it's reached. And you can close a percentage of the trade each time it is reached as well. Say you set it 25, it will close 25% of the trade until you only have the minimum lots remaining here. So if 0.2, it will keep closing 25% of the position every time the trailing gap distance is reached until there's only 0.2 lots left, in which case it will let the rest run. Okay, so here's the divergence settings. The bars to look back for divergence, you can set here. We can choose reversal or breakout trading based on divergence, okay, depending on what direction you want to trade. If we've spotted, downtrend and we want to trade a reversal, we can set accordingly, okay. And so here's the MACD. You can set to true if you want to use the MACD divergence. Also included for you the CCI, RSI, and the stochastic indicators, divergence as well. So you can trade them together or independently. Okay. And you can choose the various periods for the indicators as well. So those are the settings. Now I'm just going to show you how you can do an optimization. And what an optimization in MT4 and MT5 does is it allows you to test various combinations of settings. You just simply, first we need to set use trading to true. We don't need alerts because we're back testing. So what you need to do is any setting you want to optimize, you just click this box here. So we're going to optimize a stop loss of 25, starting at 25, going in 25 steps and stopping at 50. Take profit, we'll optimize from 0, we'll go up 100 and we'll stop at 300. So this will optimize the take profit of 0, 100, 200, and 300. Because we're starting at 0, we're going up in 100, so we're stopping at 300. Close an opposite signal, we'll optimize that true or false. Break even, true or false. For the break even, we'll do 25 pips, 25 pips and 50 pips. Trailing stop, same, true or false, 25 and 50. Close percent, start at 0, 25 and go up to 75, and for the minimum lot to close, 0.25 all the way up to 1.25, and we will trade one standard lot. User is set to false because we're using one standard lot. Okay, what else shall we optimize? So the divergence, look back, let's look. Start at 10 bars, go up in 10 bars and stop at 200. We'll optimize for reversal or breakouts. We'll set all the indicators to false apart from the MACD, and we'll optimize the MACD periods with various different optimization settings there. So once you've selected all the things that you want to optimize, please keep in mind the more that you select, okay, and the more steps you have, the longer it will take. It will depend as well on the power of your machine and the amount of historical data that you're trading, that you're testing on, along with the time frame, okay. Under this optimization table here, you can click a particular setting if you want to filter results by any of these. Perhaps you want a maximal drawdown of 10, you just check that, put your value in there, and you'll only get results that meet those requirements. I leave these all unchecked because I want to see results good and bad, just so I know what works and what doesn't. Under the testing tab, you can choose the deposit for the testing, the currency, as we discussed, trade direction. The parameter you want to optimize for, I always leave it on balance, but if profit factor and drawdown matter perhaps more to you, you can always optimize based on those. And this genetic algorithm, if you have this checked, the strategy tester will throw away combinations of results it deems will not be good. And just makes it run a lot faster. If you have this unchecked, it will do every single possible combination, which can take a long time, again, depending on how many settings you're optimizing, your data range, time frame, and computer power. Always leave that checked. Click OK. So Click optimization again, 1 hour chart, euro dollar, past year, open prices only, and click start to run the optimization. Okay, you can see it running there. If you go to the optimization results, the combinations of the settings will come through here, along with the profit, number of trades, profit factor, expected payoff and drawdown in monetary and percentage value. Okay, the optimization's finished. We sort by profit. Okay, we've got some decent settings coming through, as you can see. So let's just click this one, for instance. If you double click it, what that will do is it will load those settings into the inputs for you. And you can click save if you want to save them, perhaps save it as the euro dollar 1 hour back test. And you can load them at a later date. So now we've got those settings loading. If we click start with optimization unchecked, we can run an individual back test with those particular settings and the results not too bad. Okay, however, what we've done there is what's known as curve fitting or over optimization, if you like, which is when you throw together a combination of settings which will eventually produce some good results regardless of what trading instrument, dates or time frame you're using. You'll eventually can find good results, but it can just be curve fitted to the data set that you're using, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a good trading strategy. To emphasize that point, if we go back 1-2 years and run the same settings, okay, you can see it's not so great, and that's because we optimized probably from when the graph started going up. Yeah, not far off at all. That's where we did our optimization. Okay, you can see before, not so good because we over optimized for that time period. Some people may argue, well, just optimize again. Optimize for 3 years, for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years. And whilst one could argue the further back you optimize, the more filtered the results are, it was still optimizing for a particular data set. Granted, you can stumble upon good settings this way. However, more often than not, you just curve fit it to the data set that you're using without actually having some kind of solid strategy behind it. But, you know, if you're prepared to analyze these settings, have a look on your charts, you can find good settings. And as I said, I think some manual input can definitely improve things. You just take the time to analyze the market and look for particular signs. We've got, for example, if you came in after this uptrend here, you say, okay, I'm going to wait for a turnaround here and try and sell at the high. Okay, I'm not going to buy up here, I'm not going to buy high. So once you see this resistance hit, and then you start to see these lower highs here, okay, a nice wedge formation, got an M pattern, break out of this, see this trend line here, break up to the downside, then that support becomes resistance. As I said, lower highs, got an inside bar there, 3 inside down candlestick patterns, lots of bearish signals here. Perhaps we were watching this level of support along with this level. See this resistance, comes support, and a nice look at that big breakout bar there. You can see traders were waiting for this to play out. And handily, if we go and look at our divergence EA, we can see the MACD divergence. Market was going up, but the MACD was diverging down. So you would have potentially had an alert around here had you been watching this scenario, and then you could have timed your entry on the breakout there. And that would have been a good trade for over 300 pips. Again, stop loss above the high, so around 50 pips in this instance. We could have trailed the stop loss above the high here, above the high there, above the high there, above the high there. And once we see the market, you know, form this new level of support, we maybe consider an exit in all of our position, which coincides nicely with the divergence to the upside. You can also use this EA to get divergence alerts for exiting trades, not just taking them. Okay, so the optimization we run over the past 3 years, let's look at the results, sort by profit. Let's click one of the top ones, run that. Okay, that looks good. However, what have we done? Curve fitted, we've over optimized. Okay, we've just got settings that work for that particular data set. If we go back further, 1, 2, 3 years to run those exact same settings, what happens? that happens. We know where we optimized from. It was around here somewhere. Okay. So just go careful with curve fitting and optimization. You know, make some effort to learn basics, support, resistance, trend lines, candlestick patterns. Okay, don't rely solely on indicators. Have good money management, trading discipline, have a plan, stick to it. And of course, trade in a way that works for you. There are no guarantees in trading. Make sure you use this EA carefully and only on demo accounts. It's just a tool to assist you, okay? And help yourself to the MT4 and MT5 versions by using the link in the description below. Hopefully you found something useful in this video. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.